Hi, I am Christy Paul, and I have a strong passion in my heart to see people come to Christ. Join me as we raise up an army of powerful prayer warriors with the same passion to see Jesus Christ glorified and to bring this nation of ours back to God. Beautiful people, it's awesome to meet here with you once again. You are watching Bring the Nation Back to God, a place where we share in the insights from our guest. I'm excited to introduce our guest for today. He is Pastor Temi Odejide of House on the Rock, London, and he pastors this vibrant body. Vibrant body with his wife, Mrs. Abby Odejide. And I'm just excited. Let's get into what's been happening at House on the Rock, London. Pastor Temi, so great to have you.
It's so great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it. So, Pastor, you started as a medical professional.
Yes.
And then you transitioned into the calling
Yes.
of a pastor.
Yes.
Tell us what inspired this transition.
Well, I'll go back a little bit in history to let you know what happened. I was here in the UK with my parents for a while. Then we returned to Nigeria. A few years back in Nigeria, I met the Lord at a crusade. And then this was before university. Then I got involved in a youth revival, started a youth fellowship as a teenager.
Okay.
And then it was time to go to university in Nigeria also. And I chose to study medicine. Yeah. So as I was studying medicine, in the course of studying medicine, I started to have a strong sense of a call that God wanted me to preach and to teach and to be a pastor.
Yeah.
And while on campus, I became the pastor of one of the largest campus fellowships then called Christ Love Fellowship. And I pastored that all the way into graduating as a medical doctor and even during my housemanship as a medical doctor. Some people thought that I was going to give up medicine immediately and just go straight into ministry because of the evidence of the call of God upon my life, the fact that I was already pastoring the campus fellowship for 2-3 years. But I had a strong witness that it wasn't time to stop medicine and do ministry. So after my housemanship, I went for what we call the National Youth Service. And during that National Youth Service, I was practicing as a medical doctor while still being active in church. Then I finished that and started functioning as a doctor. But it got to the place where I was now convinced that it was time to stop medicine and heed the call of God.
Wow.
And that was it.
Are there any regrets?
Not really. God has been good. God has been faithful. I believe that all things work together for good. So God, even my years in medical school are not wasted.
Okay.
It trained the way I think and the way I see things that often still reflects in the way that I teach and in the way that I preach. And I still find that my medical knowledge I'm still able to bring to bear in many community relevant activities that we are involved in and that I am involved in. I jokingly say sometimes members come up to me and they're telling me about some of their health challenges, and I'm asking them, is it the pastor you want to talk to or is it the doctor?
Which one today?
Which one do you want today? Yeah. So, but no regrets. It's been a joy. There's fulfillment in knowing that you're doing the will of God for your life.
That is brilliant.
Yes.
And I know you said you started off in Nigeria. You went to university. You've done, your medicine training.
Yes.
Take us down the ministerial journey.
Okay.
When did you, come into ministry, basically?
Like I said, I pastored one of the largest campus fellowships before I left university. But prior to that, like I said, again, I had started a youth fellowship before I entered university, but I stopped the youth fellowship when I entered into university. But I had so much inside me. I just felt that I had something to give. So first number of years in university, even while studying medicine, I used to write articles. So I was writing a lot of articles and I would just send them out there. So finished university, left campus, went to Abuja. That's where I was doing my NYC service and got involved with House on the Rock, Abuja at that point in time. Maybe just about a year and a little after House on the Rock had started in Abuja. And very quickly I became part of the pastoral team there.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They knew something of my history pastoring on campus, but that wasn't what qualified me because I still went through all of the training. But soon after the training, I entered the pastoral team. And so for 12 years, I was in House on the Rock Abuja, director admin and finance for House on the Rock Abuja, one of the teaching pastors, oversaw the singles ministry, oversaw the cell system, and a number of other responsibilities were under my purview while I was there. About somewhere in the middle of my time there, maybe year 6 or 7 while I was there, Pastor Paul came to visit during a major conference and he made a prophecy that there was somebody that was going to be sent abroad. And then all of a sudden he turned and pointed at me and said, it just might be you.
Wow.
In public, you know.
What were you feeling in that moment?
I was shocked. I was, oh my, you know.
Are you sure?
You know. But it was still 6 years after that prophecy before it finally came that, okay, we need to send somebody to London and you are the candidate. And so I was sent to London. I came into the city of London in August of 2012. And yeah.
And it started from there.
Started.
So at that point, was there already a branch in the UK?
Oh yes, there was already. House on the Rock was already in the UK. House on the Rock London actually was the first parish, first daughter church of House on the Rock. House on the Rock started in 1994. House on the Rock London was birthed in 1996. So House on the Rock had been here for a good period of time before I came. It was pastored by another man of God at that point in time. But he was transitioning on to his own ministry and things. So then I came in and yeah.
It's taken off.
Yeah.
So tell us, like, where is it located and yeah.
House on the Rock London is located in Tufnell Park Road. It's number 49 Tufnell Park Road. The postcode is N70PS. Tufnell Park Road is in North London. It's off Holloway Road, close to the Tufnell Park station, which is on the Northern Line. And we have a beautiful building there that we call the Rock Tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Rock Tower.
Yes.
So this is the Rock Tower, but also House on the Rock is dubbed the Lighthouse.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, what it is that a lot of the daughter churches will have a AKA or a subsidiary name. So you would have House on the Rock London, the London Lighthouse. You will have House on the Rock Abuja in Nigeria, and it's called The Refuge.
Okay.
You have House on the Rock Port Harcourt, and it's called the Heritage House. So our tag name, apart from in House on the Rock London, is the London Lighthouse. We're a lighthouse. Now, those tag names are not just arbitrarily assigned. There's a sense of prophetic significance and meaning to those tag names. So we believe that House on the Rock London is meant to be a lighthouse in the city of London, giving light to the city, giving direction to the city, and like any lighthouse, helping people not to crash as they move through the waves and the oceans of life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And what made you got House on the Rock London unique?
Yeah. Well, House on the Rock London is unique in many ways. We are, like you said, we're a lighthouse. We're a house of excellence. That's one of the things that is well known about House on the Rock. Anywhere you find it, it's a house of excellence. And excellence is about details. So we pay attention to details. We want to make sure that we're offering God excellent praise. House on the Rock London itself is a home for all. That's one of our emphasis. We want to be open to anybody and everybody to be able to come in and feel at home. Our simple process, if you like, is that we want anybody that encounters us or comes into House on the Rock or becomes a part of House on the Rock London to discover God, then to discover who they are in God, and then ultimately to discover their place in the church and in the world. So virtually everything we do is to help people make those three discoveries. Our worship, the words we preach, the activities we engage on, we want to help people to discover God, and then after discovering God, to discover who they are, their true identity, their power, their potential, and then to discover their place, their relevance, what they're meant to be doing, not just in the church, but also in the world, in various arenas, various sectors of society. So those are the things that distinguish us. Those are our part of our core values. Yeah.
Definitely. And I had a look at your departments, which we'll go through shortly.
Yeah.
But like you said, House on the Rock is multicultural and
Yes.
multinational.
Yes.
How do you strive, to be a home for all?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. Of course, there's a natural catchment of virtually any church, but we try our best to be very deliberate about not letting any particular culture be overemphasized beyond the culture of the kingdom of God. And one of the ways is in our music, to make sure that our music is cosmopolitan enough, it's wide enough that to a certain degree, whatever your taste in music is, you'll find something that you can relate with in the music that we present. But also in our speaking, we want to speak, and we deliberately do everything in our power to speak internationally, to speak an English that anybody can understand, regardless of whether you're from the southeast, up north, down south, or even from another country. The way we speak English is such that you will easily hear it and you feel comfortable. So we want to de-emphasize any particular ethnos and be more embracing, welcoming and warm. So these are some of the things that we've done to maintain our motto of being a home for all. When you come in, you immediately feel welcomed, regardless of how you look, where you are from. This is home. You're welcome.
That is awesome. I definitely agree to the point that your language reaches any and everybody.
Yeah.
It's not for a particular type of person.
Yes.
That is definitely needed.
Yes.
You talked about music.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think everyone's raving about the experience in Nigeria a couple of days ago.
Yes.
Tell us about how did that started, the experience?
The experience is, oh my goodness, it's the experience. It
Definitely,
is
everyone's
an experience. And it's a vision that was birthed by the senior pastor and metropolitan of all House on the Rock, Pastor Paul Adefarasin, 20 years ago. He's always been a man of great vision and will speak about things, and everybody's wondering that what are you talking about? But when it finally comes to fruition, it blows everybody's mind. So he had this vision, this dream that we're going to gather believers and even unbelievers to come together and let's worship God together. And it's going to be offered for free. That was 20 years ago. He communicated the vision. The first one was 19 years ago. The one you're talking about now is the 19th edition of the experience. And it has been phenomenal. It's truly an experience. It's a gathering of believers to come together, not just believers, because people get saved in the hundreds and thousands at the experience, to praise and to worship God. And so House of the Rock, Pastor Paul will go out of his way to get who are the leading praise and worship leaders in Nigeria and beyond Nigeria that can come and facilitate that worship experience and lead us into the presence of God. This year's in particular, every single artist that went up on that stage, my goodness, they had something to offer. And they really took the whole, even those of us that I couldn't go this year, I watched it online. Even those of us that were watching online were drawn into the experience. Yeah.
Definitely. And um, just so with that being said, the experience in Nigeria, is there any form of, the experience in the UK? Should we expect what? Tell us
Oh
more
yes,
about that.
expect. It's good to expect, and your
Yeah.
expectation would not be cut short. There is a dream and a vision that the experience will go beyond even Lagos, Nigeria, and you start seeing expressions of it in other places, including the UK. And of course, the primary platform through which that would happen would be the House on the Rock London, being the expression of House on the Rock here in the UK, the primary expression. A number of years ago, we did have something that we called the African Worship Experience, which was
Okay.
kind of like a spin off from the experience. It was, and the African Worship Experience, when you take the first letters of each of those words, it becomes an acronym for OR. So we called it OR.
Okay.
And we were able to do 4 editions of it, and it was phenomenal. We used the Rock Tower. People would gather, would get, and we just felt led. The vision and the dream in my heart was that there was something in worship that's African that we wanted to showcase to the UK world, and we did that for 4 years. But we haven't resumed doing that. We hope that to be able to resume doing that maybe in another year or two, because such endeavors, they're quite capital intensive. It involves quite a bit of money, and so it's still there. We intend to bring it back. But aside from that, we still do other mini worship things in church. Mid-year Thanksgiving is always a big thing. Our end-of-year
Okay.
Thanksgiving, which is coming up in another this coming Sunday, actually, the
Okay.
15th of December, is also another wonderful musical experience. And then I'm big on music, so I'm always looking at the UK grown gospel artists to support them and to find ways of platforming them. So we're always looking for opportunities to say, oh, come to church, come and lead us in worship. Oh, we're having this worship night. Let's have the artists here come and power it. So we're not always looking to bring artists from outside the country. Let's grow up our own also and empower them to do great.
That is a great initiative. We are looking forward to, the experience, the
Yeah.
daughter of the experience happening here. Let's talk about your church departments. You have a department called the Lord's Ministry. Tell us about that.
Lords actually stands for leadership and organizational development. So the Lord's department, if you like, is the department that oversees all of the training in church. We have various levels of training in church where we teach people basic Christian studies so that they understand the basic tenets and theology of God's word. Not too deep, but simple enough so that you understand the basics. We call that Finding the Rock. Then we have what we call spiritual authority classes, again manned by Lord, where we teach them about divine authority and delegated authority and how that's supposed to operate. Then we have other spin-off things, trainings that is taken care of by the Lord department, leadership development particularly, leadership training. But beyond that, really we do what we call professional training under a subset that is called the professionals, where we start teaching people how they can advance in the marketplace or in their careers. So trainings on CV writing, on interviewing right, on the qualifications you need. But beyond even that side, even business. So how do you put together a business plan, a business proposal, help you do some studies on your sector and
Yeah.
how to get into that sector, what's happening in that sector, various training. So Lord does all types of training. So it's not just the spiritual training, it's also a lot of the quote unquote secular training to empower people to be the best that they can be.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely think that is needed because sometimes you go into a church and it's more the spiritual aspect
Yeah.
rather than, the training that
Yeah.
we need. Tell us about the other departments that you have
Well,
running.
there are quite a few departments. You see, a lot of people don't fully grasp the value that you can gain from being part of a church. Our church will give you a platform for growth. It give you a people to belong to.
Mm-hmm.
It will give you um, a people, which is the community. It will give you a place to go to, a safe place to go to. So these are some of the things that you gain from being a part of that community. So the departments are actually heavy training places. Um, a lot of the things that people gain from the departments, they would pay top dollar or top pound to gain it outside, and they don't know that they're gaining it. But now a lot of people are coming back to say, oh, it was in church I learned about protocol. It was in church that I learned public speaking and I became more confident.
Mm-hmm.
It was in church that I learned how to even organize an event, because every service is actually an event, And all of these things happen in church. So we have all of the departments, from ushering to protocol to music, the choir, to teaching, and all of these things. But beyond what happens in church, we're very, very passionate about the community. So we have what we call a youth club that reaches out to the youth in the community, gathers them into the club, and they are able to use their time beneficially, and hopefully it stops some of them from getting involved in the wrong group and gangs.
Yeah.
Then we are coming up with other initiatives. We have a food bank. Right now we run the food bank once a month, the second Saturday of every month, and that's been quite impactful, where we're feeding up to 55, sometimes 60 families on every time we open the food bank. Earlier on in the year, we were able to, with collaboration with the local government, able to run the food bank for 5 weeks, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, leading up to Easter weekend. So that was powerful, and I think we were able to serve close to 1,000 families through those 5 weekends. So we keep on looking for ways to engage with our community and help our community. Our building is a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at ways that they can come in and feel safe, come in for, even if it's just meditation, come and sit in this wonderful place for an hour, 2 hours, and have good music playing in the background and just feel revived and refreshed. Tea breaks and all of that. Yeah.
Exciting stuff. I think with you explaining that, we can see that there is attention to detail to the and also the holistic approach.
Yes.
And that church doesn't have to be one-sided.
Yes.
You cater to all.
Yes.
And you welcome all.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. You talked about the food banks.
Yeah.
Is there any Christmas initiatives going on, or should we look out for?
Yeah, like I said, we do food bank on the second Saturday of every month. So this coming Saturday, the 14th, we have a special food bank. Because it falls into the December season and the Christmas season. Beyond the food that will be made available on the weekend, we're also giving out clothing. So particularly winter clothing. And because we've created, or we've been able to establish a regular community of people that use the food bank, we are able to communicate with them that this is what's happening, it's going to be special, it's going to be different, and we send that message out. And so we know that a lot of them are going to come out for that. Then on the 22nd of December, we have a special Christmas service. It's called a Carol of 9 Lessons. So that involves the children, it involves the youth, it involves the choir. It's going to be really beautiful, with various favorite carols and hymns that will be sung, and then lessons in between. But beyond that, I'm quite excited that we're going to have some personnel from OCA join us for a talk show during that service. Now, OCA is the Oxford Center for Christian Apologetics.
Okay.
Yeah. And they are a wonderful group of people. What's the talk show about? The talk show is about Christmas.
Okay.
So we're going to be talking about Christmas. That is Christmas still relevant?
Yes.
That should we still be doing Christmas? All the commercialization,
Yeah.
and is it even a biblical thing
No, yeah.
to be involved in? So it's going to be a very interesting conversation
Sounds
on the day.
interesting.
Yeah.
We are to the end of the program, so sad. But I'm going to give you this opportunity just to speak to our audience before we head out. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I want to speak to anybody out there today. I want to let you know that God loves you, regardless of whatever it is that you're going through, regardless of how challenging your situations might be. God loves you. And if you will believe Him, He's going to bring you out of that situation. He's going to turn it around for your good. And I also want to invite you, anytime you're in North London, please come and visit us at House on the Rock, London. The London Lighthouse. It's at the Rock Tower, 49 Tufnell Park Road, N70PS. We would love to have you come and worship with us. It's a home for all. And when you come to the Rock Tower, you'll see that it's a beautiful place to be. All right? God bless you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it has been an honor. I would love to hear more from you. So maybe we can send out some invites and have you back on the program.
It'll be my honor. I'll be
Lovely.
pleased.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And viewers, thank you for tuning in. All the information is on the screens. If you want to be a part this Christmas, you can go onto their website and get more information. We love you and stay blessed. Beautiful people, if you love what we do here at Faith World TV, join us on our mission to expansion, reaching far more people than ever. As we enlarge our capacity for more, support the cause by scanning the QR codes on your screens now. You can partner with any amount that is on your heart. Together, we can create a positive impact.